mind. What do we have now, Lakshmi? Most of us are probably aware that our dear Swami had made it compulsory for all his students to learn to chant various Vedic mantras. During the course of his discourses, he has spoken of the greatness of these mantras and the positive and healing effect they have on all those who chant or even listen to the chanting. Yes, Lakshmi, and our organization is making it possible for people of all age groups to be trained in chanting the Vedas. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our next speaker, Sudhindran sir, who will enlighten us on this very topic. Sudhindran sir was born and brought up in Chennai. He joined the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Vrindavan in 1997 and completed BCom honors. Later, he completed MBA from Prashanthi Nilayam campus in 2002. He served in the Finance and Accounts Department of Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust at Prashanthi Nilayam from January 2003. In 2011, he returned to Chennai and served as the head finance and accounts of a government of Andhra Pradesh enterprise at Visakhapatnam. In October 2023, he completed his professional degree in law. Presently, he is employed as a general manager of a nutraceutical company in Bangalore. So, Devendran sir, we request you to share your insights to the significance of Veda in daily life.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most loving and grateful pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. So thanks to the organizers. We have a sumptuous lunch. There are good and bad aspects of having that kind of sumptuous lunch. So before we begin the post-lunch session, I would request all of you to join me in chanting 3 Omkars, and then I will begin my talk. Ganeshaya Namaha, Saraswatye Namaha, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Vagattavada Samprukto Vagatta Pratipadaye, Jagatapyata Vande Parvati Parameshwaram. Namasabhabhyas sabhapatibhyascha Mo Namaha. Sai Ram. The topic that I've chosen to speak about is the significance of Vedas in our daily lives. I just want to elicit your opinion or definition of as to what is Veda or what are the Vedas. Anybody? Open to everybody. What are the Vedas? What do you think are the Vedas? Anyone?
Vedas are knowledge.
Knowledge, yes. Absolutely. Breath of God. Anyone else? Take a guess. There's no harm. Anyone from the Gen side? What we commonly associate Vedas with? Mantras, worship, culture, spirituality. What about Ayurveda? Good health, right? Vedas are all this and beyond. So, like what sister mentioned, the word Veda is derived from the root word with, meaning to know. And it is said, Ananto Vai Vedaha, meaning to say, Vedas are an ocean of infinite knowledge and wisdom. So coming straight to the point, is there any aspect of life where you think that knowledge or information is not required? Any aspect. How about eating? The act of eating is simple, but then there is some science behind it, right? When you are very, very thirsty, you roam around in the hot summers, you come home, immediately you start eating pickled rice, or you want something to drink. So there is some knowledge to eating. How about sleeping? Come on, at least this. How would you sleep? You lie down, or like horse. You don't sleep like horses, right? Standing on all four legs like that. No. And when we sleep, there is a kind of inbuilt routine we get into. We loosen our shirt or whatever, then probably take out the air clip. We make ourselves comfortable, turn on the fan. If there's any noise, we turn it off, and then we lie down. And we lie down in a certain posture, right? There is some knowledge involved in that aspect. And what about clothing? How about wearing leather suit in hot summer in Bangalore? No. So there is virtually no aspect of life that is where you don't need knowledge. And given the definition that Vedas are the repository of all forms of knowledge, it implies that knowingly and unknowingly we are applying some or the other principle from the Vedas in our day-to-day life. Every second of our lives we are doing that. Even as I'm speaking, there's a certain way each word is pronounced. There's emphasis, there's a diction. And that in the Vedas is called Shiksha. So speaking, every aspect of life is therefore covered in the Vedas. And therefore, though some of us maybe aware and some may not be aware. It is good to realize as to what is the significance of the Vedas in our daily life. So, let us first start with the origin of Vedas. It is mentioned in the Pratyanga Upanishad that the Vedas are the breath of God. Yasya Nishvasitam Vedaha. Meaning to say, Vedas are the breath of God. So, how important is our breath for our life? No breath, no life. Isn't it? And therefore, Vedas and divinity, Vedas and God are connected so deeply. No God without Vedas, no Vedas without God. As we would call it, it is Avina Bhava Sambandham, where one cannot exist without the other. So this is how the Vedas originated. And when I say originated, it is the breath of God. But then when we generally chant any mantra, say for example the Savitra Gayatri or the Gayatri mantra as is commonly called. So it is said, first before chanting the mantra we say Vishwamitra Rushihi Sarita Devata Gayatri Shantaha, and then we chant the mantra. So then who are these rishis? Rishis, did they compose the Vedas? Did they author the Vedas? No. So the Vedas were revealed through the Rishis to the humanity. They did not compose the Vedas. They were called mantra drashtas. There's a term in English, seers. So they, in a deep state of meditation, the Rishis were receptive to the Vedic mantras, not just in the outer space, but in the inner space. Like how you fine tune the radio to, to get the right station, whichever favorite FM station that you want to listen to. You fine tune that, and then when you fine tune it and you reach the correct spot, then you're able to listen to the beautiful music being relayed. Similarly, in the deep state of meditation, these rishis heard and absorbed the mantras and then they taught it to their disciples. And that's how the Vedic mantras and traditions have been handed over from generation to generation of gurus and shishyas. The Vedas are therefore called Apaurushaya, meaning to say they are not of human origin, they are of divine origin. So coming to the scientific aspect of Vedas. So the Vedas are primarily, the Veda mantras are primarily sound. The mantras, when you chant, it generates sound. And sound and vibrations are two sides of the same coin. What is audible to human ear is sound. And what is below or above the frequency of human hearing is what we refer to as vibration. And therefore, the Vedas, the Vedic mantras are special as in what distinguishes mantras from a mere sound, maybe like the sound of the fan or anything else. is that the Veda mantras are a very potent and powerful combination of sound. It is common knowledge. Though we may have ingredients while cooking any dish, how much of it you add and when you add it, at what time and what process of cooking makes a lot of difference. Therefore, though the ingredients may be the same, the combination varies. And therefore, the unique aspect of Vedic mantras vis-a-vis just sound is that the Vedic mantras are packed with a lot of power. And okay, if we have to go back to the root, does sound have power? Any answers? Yes? Yes? Have you all heard of the sonic boom? You know, when a jet flies at the speed of light or even more faster than that, then there's a loud sound, sonic boom. That's one example of sound. Right? Another very common thing that we see, in the heart of city is the din of traffic, honking. How does that feel vis-a-vis listening to some very nice, soothing music? There is a lot of difference. Sound is such a very powerful form of energy, and that's why our ancients called sound as divine. You would have heard many discourses of Swami when Swami used to say, Shabda Brahmamani, meaning sound is divine. And the effect, the power of sound is huge. And Swami narrates a very nice Chinnakatha to demonstrate the power of sound. In the Chinnakatha, Swami says that one day in a class, the teacher was speaking about the features and the power of sound as a principle. And that time, the headmaster happened to pass by the class and decided to drop in to see what the teacher was teaching the students. And therefore, he stepped into the class and started listening to what the teacher was speaking. And as the teacher was talking about the features of sound and the power of sound, the headmaster then interjected and said, "See, I don't agree with all this power of sound and all that. It is not something, you are going from physics to metaphysics." So then the headmaster asked, "Can you demonstrate the power of sound to me right now?" And then the next second, the teacher looked at the headmaster and said, "Get out of my class." The headmaster was taken aback. Again, the teacher shouted even louder, "I said, get out of my class right now." And when the teacher told that, the headmaster was furious. He said, "How dare you insult me in front of all the students? You will be sent out of the school for now and ever." And when he shouted back at the teacher then told, "Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to do this, but I just wanted to demonstrate the power of sound to you, like what you requested." The headmaster didn't understand in the beginning. Then the teacher asked the headmaster, "Sir, did I hit you or slap you?" Headmaster, "Oh, no, you didn't." Did I take some scale or something, stick and hit you, sir? No, you didn't. Then why were you so angry? Why did you shout? And then the headmaster replied, "You shouted at me, that's why I have to shout back at you." And then the teacher submitted, "Sir, this is the power of sound. Without even touching you, I could make you react to me, to the situation so much." That is one aspect or power of sound. And therefore, with just a simple sound like this can affect us. Imagine how much more the impact of the mantras can be on humans and the environment. Isn't it? Because the mantras are not just sound, they are a powerful combination of sound. And therefore, the effect, the impact of the mantras are not just what you listen as sound, but more at the level of vibrations. It is like when I chant Om, this sound is heard maybe within this hall, maybe slightly, maybe about 50 meters diameter, even outside the hall it could be heard. But that is just the physical sound. The vibrations of the sound spreads far and wide across. One example, just for you to visualize, would be if you imagine a, a lake or a pond which is completely still. If you take a pebble and throw the pebble into the pond, into the middle of the pond, then what do you see? The pebble goes strikes the surface of the water and it does a splash, right? Because of the impact. And the pebble goes inside, and then the ripples, starting from the center, the epicenter, it spreads far and wide across the entire lake or the pond. Isn't it? The ripples are much bigger at the center, but nevertheless, it keeps reducing, but one portion of it does slight movement even at the edge of the lake. So that's how it is. When we chant the mantras, physically it is heard here, but the vibrations they travel far and wide into the space. And that's why every time after we chant, after we sing bhajans or after we chant Vedam, Swami advises always to chant the Samastaropa Sukhino Bhavantu, because that sound, the vibration, coupled with that bhavam or feeling of peace and happiness that spreads across. That is the power of sound. Now, coming directly addressing the topic and the significance of the Vedas. So there are totally 32 forms of knowledge in the Vedas. We have the Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda. Then there are various Upanishads linked to each of the Vedas. There are Vedangas, there are Upaveda, Upaangas, there are Upavedas. For example, Dhanurveda is the art of warfare. Ayurveda is the art of healing or health and well-being. And Samaveda is the origin of music. So there are various aspects of Vedas that are tied up with every aspect of our life. So Vedas are not just mantras that we chant during worship. No. Vedas essential integral part of our daily life. Every minute, every day. Say for example, if you are, suppose you have sore throat or cold, okay? At home, what would your mom suggest you to have? I mean, apart from the regular allopathic medicines, and if you're just beginning to feel some kind of a throat infection that's coming, what would your mom say? Gargling, exactly. And then she would probably offer you some warm milk with some haldi or turmeric powder, isn't it? It's very common knowledge. But do you know why turmeric is put in milk, warm milk, and why not in warm water? Why not? I mean, both are warm. The point is that ingredient, essential ingredient, the chemical in turmeric, which is called the curcumin, does not dissolve in water. It dissolves in fat. Therefore, the milk has fatty liquid in it, and therefore that fatty substance is able to absorb the curcumin and essentially get it inside your body so that it can be absorbed. What is called bioavailability is much better. And this is from the Ayurveda. And do you know that this simple thing, haldi, turmeric that we use, nowadays, world over, they extract this curcumin from this turmeric and it is sold as branded products across the world worth millions of dollars. And this we know it all the while. Even probably, a mother, probably uneducated mother in a very remote part of India would have done this long, ages back and would continue to do that. Without realizing that this is also an application from the Vedas. We just had lunch, okay, and we suppose at home or when we go to, for a wedding, and we're having a wedding feast, there's a particular order in which we eat the items, right? The plate, or forget even that, at home, you probably have first rasam rice or sambar rice, dal rice, whatever, okay? And then you have, finish it off, you have the third rice, isn't it? Nobody starts with third rice and then go and have rasam rice or chapati, puri, dosa. No. Why? Why not third in the first and then rest of it later? Any guesses? We're doing it unconsciously and unknowingly. We've been doing it because our parents told us. And who told our parents? Their parents. And then their parents. It goes back and back. It was so many generations. But why? There is a very scientific reason to it. A simple thing as having curd rice at the end of the meal and not right at the beginning of the meal. Unless curd rice is the only thing that you don't have for the meal. This is because curd or yogurt has a lot of microbes in it. And these microbes, when they go into our body, they populate our gut. And if you read any of the, any pharmaceutical magazine or article, nutraceutical magazine, articles, anywhere, you will come across this term called gut microbiome. And scientific research has proved that this gut microbiome influences the health of the person in a very, very, very big way. Because our millions and millions of microbes, all kinds of microbes, bacteria, virus, fungi, everything, you name it, it's there in our gut. And people who do not have yogurt or curd, they do not have that quality of health as the people who have these kind of products, because their gut microbiome is much, much better because of the curd that people eat. And the reason why curd is had at the end is because when you start having your meal, the acid in your stomach is so powerful that most of the microbes in the curd would get, it would probably be dead or become infected. But when you have it at the end of the meal, the acidity in the stomach is much lesser, and therefore there is more probability that the microbes in the curd can go into your gut and derive the benefit of that. This is also going back to Ayurveda. So that, as you can see, there is virtually no part of our life that is untouched by the Vedas and the Vedic culture. We may not label it as Vedic culture, but essentially we've been handed down this practice. And if you trace it back to the source, it all goes back to the Vedas. But Vedas are not just limited to our daily eating, drinking, sleeping, etc. Vedas contain all forms of knowledge, right? I just want to share a video here that shows what our ancient Vedic sages knew, that even now is valid, and many of us, even the scientists of modern labs, are unaware of. Sir, can you please play the video? Of what ancient India really knew that hopefully might pique your interest. For a very long time, everybody assumed that the earth was flat. The concept that our planet was round is first mentioned around the 5th century BC by the Greek astronomers and scientists. If you check out the Sanskrit word for the earth, it is Bhugol. Bhu is Bhumi, the earth. Gol is ground. Sanskrit is a language which people take to be even 7, 8, 10,000 years, maybe even older. It stretches back in time. And the word that we had for the earth, which was known to every little child in this country, was Bhugol. It was a widely known fact that the earth was round by the very nomenclature. The other word for the earth is Jagat. Jagat is jiski gati hai, that which moves. So the earth was never considered to be stationary. We always knew that the earth was moving. The Sanskrit term to describe the solar system is Surya Mallika. Surya meaning the sun, Mallika meaning garden. So we knew way back that the sun was in the center and the planets were moving like a garden around the sun. Even if you look at the Navgraha statues that are there in all the ancient temples of India, you will see that the sun is kept in the middle. We had already a heliocentric view of the solar system. On a full moon night, if you ever gaze at the serene beauty of the moon, the one thing that you will conclude is it's white. Is it? The moon is white. Yet, as far back as the Atharva Veda, there's a shloka which says, Chandra Madi Krishna. Chandra, moon. Krishna, yeah. They said that the soil of the moon was black. And this was verified only when
we actually landed on the moon and we got a sample from the moon and we realized, oh my God, yes, the soil of the moon is black. This is not a coincidence. This is an insight. This is deep thought. Well, let's turn our attention to the Scorpio constellation. Yes. In Scorpio, there is a star called Antares. It's considered to be between the 10th and the 15th brightest object in the sky. If you think about it, ancient Indians definitely knew a lot of science, right? So if something is not so bright, it would not be much of a stretch of the imagination to conclude that it is much smaller than the more brighter objects in the sky, isn't it? So now Antares is the 10th to the 15th brightest object in the sky, yet it has been named Jeshta by our ancients. Jeshta means the oldest one, the biggest one. Indeed, Antares is one of the biggest objects in the sky of what we know. It is 12 times the size of the sun, and if Antares was put in our solar system, its size would be somewhere in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. It is really, really, really big. How our ancient people concluded that it was so big is something that we can only wonder. When I was in the 7th or 8th standard, I remember being asked a question: which star is closest to the Earth? And the answer my professor expected from me was, of course, Proxima Centauri. I surprised him by saying it's the Sun. uh, but yes, the Sun is a star which we kind of take for granted, and we call it the Sun. And the next closest star to us is in the Centaurus constellation, and it's called Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is approximately 4.2 something light years away from the Earth. Do you know what our ancients called Proxima Centauri? Mitra. Mitra means the one who's close. Is that a coincidence again that they named the closest star Mitra? Right? This also shows that they knew the difference between planets and stars. Here is the modern value of the speed of light. Now, just listen to this shloka. तथा च सर्वथा योजनानां सहस्रं वेदेशते च योजने एकेन One nimisha is the amount of time it takes you to blink your eyes. One nimisha. And the yojana is around 8 miles. There is a lot of debate about this, but if you take the yojana to be somewhere near 8 or 9 miles, this particular shloka that we just heard is actually a formula to calculate the speed of light. And if you check out this value, you will find that it is remarkably close to the modern value of the speed of light. When people get married in the traditional way in India, the husband and wife are asked to step out of the mandapam and look at a particular star in the sky called Arundhati Vasishtha. Now, Arundhati and Vasishtha were supposed to be the ultimate married couple. She was always devoted and totally loved her husband. And Vasishtha, the great Rishi, was the most amazing, loving husband that you could think of for Arundhati. This is amazingly illustrated by this twin star system, which, by the way, in modern nomenclature is called Alcor-Izar, that the two stars rotate around each other. It's not that one is in the center and the other rotates around it, but the two stars actually rotate around each other. Their destinies tied in a synergistic dance, just the way a husband and wife should be. Like it is not that the husband should be in the center and the wife goes around him, or the wife should be in the center and the husband goes around her. It should be that the husband and the wife dance their destinies, keeping each other's interests, passions, and love in mind. I could go on and on and on about astronomy, but I want to end with two things which are not really astronomically related, but absolutely fascinating even then. The first is, if you look at the pillar standing outside the Qutub Minar in Delhi today, it is made of iron and that iron is rust proof. The terrible pollution of Delhi, the crazy fumes, the moisture, all that has done nothing to this pillar. There is no doubt about it that it is iron. There is no doubt about it that it doesn't rust. And till today, we do not have the technology to create rust-proof iron. Also, it is not a pillar that is unique or alone. There are many such pillars scattered all around the country, some in very, very remote villages, which meant that the ability to create this was not an elitist thing, but normal general people knew how to make them. So, rust-proof iron would be a dream, and that dream had been realized a long time ago in this country, and we have still not figured out how to do it. To end, I would like you to listen to this particular story.
गोपी भाग्य मधुद्रात शृङ्गिशोदधि संहृत करजीवित घाता गलहादार संधर.
As you can see from the translation, it is one of those many shlokas that are there in the praise of Lord Krishna. But there is a secret here. If you take ka, ta, pha and replace them by one, and so on, as is shown in this table, then this particular shloka is actually the encoded value of pi up to 31%. You know, the first time I saw this, it really blew my mind. These guys knew how to do encoding. These guys knew the value of pi. These guys did this in a form of a devotional poem, a shloka. I had goosebumps when I first heard about the Katapayari Sangha.
Yes. So this is just one small glimpse the speaker has given into the wisdom that are in the Vedas. Okay, so from among the audience, what all subjects did he cover in his speech, where he mentioned that all these, were known to the Vedic sages and are part of the eternal Vedic system. Okay, one was, astronomy. He mentioned about the Arundhati Vasishtha, the twin star system, right? See, when I got married and when I was taken out in the broad daylight and shown the sky, I never knew. They just told me Arundhati Vasishtha. I just looked at it, nodded, and then I came back inside. But nobody told me that what's so special about this Arundhati Vasishtha twin star system. Isn't it so unique that among millions of celestial objects in the sky, our ancient rishis could exactly pinpoint only this twin star system that go, not like you mentioned, not one around the other, but both go around each other. And then they pointed out and said, this is how the ideal couple should live. Such a great insight, isn't it? The point is, many of these practices, we are doing it completely unaware of their scientific basis. And therefore, more often than not, they get categorized as superstition. Because we don't know, we are not aware of the underlying wisdom. Because it didn't, unfortunately, it did not get passed on from generation to generation. The act got passed on, the practices got passed on. But the logic, the knowledge behind it, unfortunately, died long time back. It didn't reach us. Okay. So number one, astronomy. Okay. Number two, mathematics, the value of pi. What other subjects did we touch upon? Encryption, absolutely. Whoever thought encryption was only limited to information technology and IT? Wrong. It was there much, much before. Yes. Anything else? Metallurgy. You know the rust-free iron near Qutub Minar? Metallurgy and chemistry. Sorry? Exactly. Black soil, science, geography, astronomy. Then speed of light, physics. Then, sorry, Scorpion in constellation, yes, astronomy. Then what else? These are just, I think we gathered about 8 to 10 subjects, right? Just from this 10-minute video clip. We are aware now that the ancient sages of the Vedic times were experts in all these fields of sciences. But this is what we got as a glimpse from this 10-minute video clip. And this is the tip of an iceberg. And there are so many more hidden treasures in the Vedas. Okay. And another thing is, of course, we touched about the poetry and literature. How that encoding was done in such a beautiful, poetic manner. And there is out of the 32 forms of knowledge, there is one science that deals with beauty and cosmetics. If we knew that, we would have probably earned billions of dollars in revenue across the world, isn't it? Then there is the Arthashastra, which talks about economics, the political science, and government administration. What else? We have covered languages, literature, mathematics, all forms of science, chemistry, biology, physics, and geography, Bhugol, we talked about geography, civics, economics, political administration, literature, art, Dhanurvidya, warfare, Ayurveda, health and well-being. We are all aware how Charaka and Shushruta were experts in the field of medicine and surgery. They could perform very complex skin and plastic surgery way back those days. We've literally listed out so many subjects that where the knowledge all goes back to the same source, the Vedas. And would it now be difficult to understand and agree that Vedas indeed form a very significant part of our daily lives, isn't it? It does. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are the beneficiaries of those Vedic concepts and practices. But the most beautiful thing in the Vedas is it has spoken about all forms of material sciences and also in fine print added that compared to all these infinite forms of science social sciences, arts, knowledge, all forms of material knowledge. Compared to all this, the Atma Vidya, the spiritual knowledge is the king, and therefore they ask us to be aware of all this, but then told us that good to know all this, but don't make sure you lose focus on the ultimate knowledge, the culmination of all forms of knowledge. As Bhagavan Sri Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam, the king of all forms of knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, they do are and gave it the maximum importance. Said it's good to know all this, but ultimately, in order to attain our destination of, by the way, so what if someone were to ask you what is the purpose of your life? What would you say? Anybody? Purpose of your life? Reach God. Why do you want to reach God? Don't want rebirth. But why not rebirth? So, but what's the benefit of not having rebirth? Exactly. Right? Because in this world, there is pain and happiness. It's a mixture. It is inevitable for anybody. Everybody has to undergo pain and happiness. It's a mixture. It's always a mixture of sadness and happiness, pleasure and pain, hot and cold, like, dislike, isn't it? Therefore, essentially, Bhagavan says all human beings are Ananda Pipasi, right? We are all striving all the time to attain happiness, right? Why are you going to school? Because I want to study. Why do you want to study? Because I want to complete school and then move on to college. Why do you want to move to college? Because then after studying, I can then get a job. Why do you want to get a job? Because then I can earn salary. And do what? Eke out my livelihood. And do what? Eat, sleep, enjoy, fine. But by doing this, what are trying to do? Trying to be happy. Ultimately, isn't it? The very basis of our existence is happiness. And each and every second, knowingly or unknowingly, we are striving for happiness. You give a toy to a small baby, it tries to grab it and it smiles, playing with it. You take the toy away, it starts crying, wailing loudly. And for grown-ups, that toy could be a BMW car, a huge palace-like house, maybe tens of hundreds of silk sarees or various colorful clothes to wear, whatever it is. Ultimately, each one of us are striving for happiness. And that's why our ancients laid out like a buffet, laid out all the forms of knowledge in arts and sciences, and also laid out the king of all knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, and told, good to know all this, but then make sure you don't lose sight of the spiritual knowledge. Because ultimately, that spot will give you the ultimate bliss or undiluted happiness forever. That is the wisdom that we have in the Vedas. And therefore, Vedas are not just mantras that we chant in worship. Vedas are a way of life. Vedas are a way of life. And that's why Swami told us, Ihamanu Sukhayimpa, Hemataraka Vidya, Paramanu Sukhayimpa, Brahma Vidya. You should all strive to learn all forms of material happiness and bliss, which can be, which can come only with merging at the divine lotus feet, which can come with parabhakti, highest form of devotion, love and devotion for God. That was kept at the very center as the crown of all forms of knowledge. And therefore, all forms of knowledge are Veda. And therefore, no form of knowledge is lesser. Swami, like he said, you need the secular knowledge and the spiritual knowledge. Both forms of knowledge are like 2 feet. Only with these 2 feet you will be able to walk and attain your ultimate destination. Even if 1 feet is crippled, 1 foot is crippled, it's difficult to walk. And therefore, we should make sure that we do not compromise the secular knowledge in the interest of the spiritual knowledge, and definitely not the spiritual knowledge in the interest of the secular knowledge. We should use both. Both should go hand in hand so that we can have a happy life while here on earth and a blissful life while being at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. With these few words, I would like to offer my grateful pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet. I express my heartfelt thanks to the president and all the organizers here, and of course to all the participants. Thank you so much. Sai Ram. Sahana bhavatu, sahanam bhunattu, sahaviryam karavavai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you. Sai Ram.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure we will try to make Veda chanting or at least listening an integral part of our lives. We request you to accept a small token of love. I would like to call upon Partha Chakraborty, sir, District Spiritual Coordinator, to do the honors. Thank you once again, Sudhindra, sir. We will now have a session on building holistic personality by Dr. Anand Kumar Krishnamurthy. Dr. Anand graduated with bachelor's and master's degree in biosciences from the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Vrindavan, and Prashanti Nilayam campuses between 1996 and 2001. He has completed PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Scientific Research, Bengaluru in 2009, specializing in the optimization of DNA vaccines for HIV/AIDS. Dr. Anand joined as an assistant professor in the Department of Biosciences, Vrindavan campus in September 2014, serving until Jan 2024. He is the founder of Chisel, Have Yourself, a self-discovery hub, and the co-founder of Prakriti, an indoor urban farm catering to wholesome health naturally through microgreens, salads, and sprouts. Anand is also a high-performance coach, an author, a singer, an artist, a vibronics practitioner, an active member of the National Youth Leadership Program, and a living example.
Shri Salam. I offer myself with love and gratitude and the lotus feet of my most loving son. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, and dear students, boys and girls. How many of you here love Virat Kohli? Virat Kohli, okay. How many of you love Mahendra Singh Dhoni? Alright. How many of you did not raise your hands for both the questions? Alright. So, 10 now. We covered everybody because it's you, children, they present, absent. Should I not? So what do you mean by holistic personality and building holistic personality? What is your understanding? So let me see what your answer is. What do you mean by building holistic personality? What is your understanding? What is meaning of building? Developing. Then developing. After that, constructing. How do we construct? Foundation. Step by step, we will have blueprint and then do it step by step. Fantastic. What do you mean by holistic? Intellectual that takes care of the mind, it could be cultural, physical, emotional, service. Out of doing all of this, the students socially responsible and simple for all of us now here. Let us assume all of us have a body. Yes? Okay. I'm a teacher. I like interaction. Otherwise, I can touch to a wall. Now, when I say yes or no, I want you to raise your hand so that I know you are all alive. Alright? How is the Josh?
Hi, sir.
This is high. How is the Josh?
Hi, sir.
This is at -1. That except for a couple of hours. How is Josh?
Hi,
Yes. So when you say yes, how will it be? People at the above below should be able to hear you. Right? Say yes.
Yes.
Raise your hand. Fantastic. Alright. So we will keep this alive so that within 1 hour, by the time you raise, 1 hour is gone. Fantastic. So we all have this body. Yes. Then we all have this mind. We suffer that, so we know it. And then we also have spirit. This one, we are not really familiar what it is. We come to it in the morning. So, Swami says, a person with his body, mind, and spirit, when he becomes an integrated personality, we should have these 3 H. 3 H. Head of Shankara, of Janaka. Now, head of Shankara. Who was Shankara? Who was Shankara? Adi Shankara, heard of Adi Shankara? So when he was small, in 5 to 6 years time, he learned all the knowledge, all the Vedas. He learned everything. Even before he went to a guru, he already knew. That was the level of Adi Shankara. Then Buddha. Who was Buddha? Gautam Buddha. Yes, he was an enlightened being. How was his heart? Very soft. With lots of love. They told him, Buddha, don't go into this forest because in this forest lives a thief called Angulimala. If you go into the forest, he will cut your fingers and put it as a garland, as a chain. So don't go. What did Buddha say? No problem. He went there. Angulimala came. I am here to take your fingers. Please take, brother. That's it. Angulimala melted. Buddha had so much love, Angulimala could not harm Buddha. Transformation instantly. That is the level of love. When Swami says, love all, not all, not love all. Those people who like us, we love. Those people, others, no, not all. Yes or no? Now, in hands of Janaka. Who was Janaka? He was a king, Sita's father. Huh? Good. So Sita's father, he was a person who did his duty always. He made his duty and his hands was always in the service of the world. So when we have these three, we have integrated personality. One more beautiful point. So that is what Swami says. An integrated personality, when you have these three H, you have sharp brain, a kind heart, and competent hands. Your hands are ready to work. Fast. He is a beautiful combination of nobility and ability. Now, nobility means what? Good person. He's a very good person, good for nothing. We don't want that kind of goodness. We want somebody who is good and also able. So, if he is a good person, good for nothing, useless. But somebody who is able, he is very competent, but his heart is not good. Terrorist, correct? The person who went and took and hit a plane, he knew so much about all of that, but his knowledge was misguided. So there was no nobility. So we need both heart and the brain and competence. All these together is called integrated personality. So that is a holistic personality. Now look at this Amazon. How many of you know about Amazon? How many of you have ordered something on Amazon? They will give you a hand. Have you ordered anything less than 4 stars rating on Amazon? Anybody less than 4 stars? Even when it was your father's money, you will be hesitant. 3.9 is okay. Please order for 3 stars, you will still order. You won't. Why? That 4-star means 80% performance. 4-star means 80% performance. Institute. Swami would say, have you heard about this grades? A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, outstanding grade is. Yes, O grade is complete. So that is the wholesome personality. You need to have. Why should people hire you if you took 60%? Doctor. But in our profession, our duty is a student. Unity of head, hand, and heart. So let us say, for example, I am looking at this boy in red shirt. Is it okay if I take your example? I'm telling this boy is speaking in my class. Okay, I'm angry with you. I'm thinking this thought. I'm angry with you. I go tell him, I'm angry with you. I'm going to hit you. Then I go hit him. See, I had a thought. I spoke that in word. I took action. Mahatma, isn't it? Thought, word, and deed, same no. Mahatma, no. So what is the problem here? Because the thought, word, and deed was not good thoughts. It's not any random thought. The thought has to be a good thought. A good thought. So anybody who has crossed 6th standard already knows what is good, what is bad. Today children come out of and then ask what is the Wi-Fi password here. Yes or no? LKG, UKG students handle, right? So if you have crossed 6th standard, you already know what to do, what not to do. But sometimes we don't ask these 4 questions. So I'm going to ask you these 4 questions. If you have a notebook and a pen, you wrote this down. Is this good for me? Ask this question. Is this good for me now? Is this good for others? No. Is this good for me? No. Is this good for others? No. The people around me, it should be good for me and good for others. Like especially your parents. They are the people who are suffering. Yes, sir. Especially the parents. So you should ask this question. Then I want to have one, but the parents are saying, yeah, tired, we would like to rest. But if you make noise at the home, it is good for you, but not good for your parents. Probably not good for you also if they wake up. Second, is it good for me in the future? Is it good for others in the future? If the question answer for all this is yes, 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 go ahead and do that. Simple. If it is no for two of the questions, slow down, think about it. What is not okay? If the answer is no for three questions, definitely don't do. Talk to some elder. If it is four yes, happily you can do. So our actions, if they are good actions, then our thought, word, and deed are in the same line. Then we can be Mahatmas. That is a holistic personality according to Swami. So let us review now. What are the three parts of us? Body, mind, and spirit. Fantastic. Head of Shankar. Can't hear you. Fantastic. Heart of Buddha. Hands of fantastic. Trikarna Shuddhi means unity of Manasekam, Vachasekam, Karmanyekam. Unity of thought, word, and deed. Fantastic. Will we all follow it? We will start following this. Sure? Now, to make it easy for us, Swami has built this organization. The organization has these three wings: servicing, educationing, spiritual. See, he is making sure that all the three aspects of our personality is taken. Service takes care of the body because you go and do some work, physical work you are doing. Education, it takes care of your mind. You learn shloka, you learn Vedam, you learn so many of this padyams, Bhagavad Gita, Chinna Kathas. So all of that will take care of your mind, mental development. And spiritual, you sing bhajans, you are devoted to God, so it takes care of spirituality. So all these three together constitutes our Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization. So if you are part of Sathya Sai organization and you involve yourself in these three, then you will have all three aspects of yours develop into an integral personality. But most of what we do is, I am bhajan singer, I will do only bhajan. I am service person, I will do only service. I am Vedam, I will do only Vedam. No, you are expected to participate in all of it. Predominantly, you may be one or the other, but you should take part in all the three activities. Now, we will mildly complicate. Go to the next level. Instead of body, mind, and spirit, I put the S outside. The body, B is body, S is spirit. Now, today what we people are saying is, we have what is called as mental and emotional. So today morning we heard two speakers talk about emotional, right? Because not only thoughts we have, we are human beings, we also have emotions. Not just thoughts, emotions. So how do we handle it? Why did I put spirit on the outside? Because if the spirit is not there, we are not there. One breath that goes out did not come back, or which went in did not go out. End of our story. Yes or no? So that spirit is the one that allows our eyes to work. Because in a dead body also eye is there, but it can't see. Ears are there, it can't hear. So that spirit is the one that is operating all of this. Here is where it gets beautiful. Now what happens is, if I do something in the domain of spirit, it will impact my physical domain also. It will impact my mental domain also. It will impact my emotional domain also. In fact, all these four domains are interconnected. If you touch one, it definitely touches one. If you touch one, it definitely impacts all of us. Shall we have an experiment? Shall we? All right. Request all of you to stand up in your places.
Stand at ease. Stand at ease.
Stand at ease with your hands behind you. Chest wide open. Chin up. Look at the ceiling halfway to there. And now bring your right hand in front of you like this. Can you see me? Bring your right hand and then be angry with somebody in your life. I am sure all of you have many people, at least one person now you think. You've been angry and then talk to them as if you are very angry. Be in that angry. Clench your fist back on your the hand which is behind you. Clench your fist and then be angry. Alright. Now, just take your hand. Now, put your legs together. Bring your hands together like Namaskar position. Bend your head. Try to be angry on the same person. Try to be angry on the same person. Alright. Have a seat. Have a seat. Give yourself a round of applause. So, what did you notice? That person whom you are angry with, that person has not changed. They are still the same. When you go back outside the hall, they are waiting. When you go home, your brother or sister is ready to again have a fight with you. They have not changed. But what changed? You just changed the way you stood. Physically you changed. Your mentality changed. Your emotions changed. Instantly all the three changed. There was nothing that changed outside, but what changed is where you are. So when you change your physical, mental or emotional, the most important thing is if you let the spirit run your life, all these three will be in good shape. Everybody so far with me? This is a good exercise. Now, how are we going to use this? We will make it more practical now. How many of you have this exam tension? Yeah, all students have it, isn't it? I don't know why they conduct exams so often. Not equal. I came to class. You should put me in the next standard. Correct? Simple. No, they want teachers. Oh my God. Especially they'll put some tough questions also. Why not? Yes or no? So, why we go to, how many of you are sat in the exam and you are writing and then suddenly that point is not coming to your mind. You know it is on the left side page, top corner, but it is not coming. Exactly. Fantastic. Fantastic. How many of you have sat in front of your book? 2 hours you study. But after 2 hours, if they ask question, nothing. I was studying, but you know you studied 2 hours. You studied 2 hours. Fantastic, fantastic. All of you are with me. Fantastic. What happened? What happened to those 2 hours of study? What happened is, I'm just going to shift because when I came in here, I saw there were more students. So I thought this would be more useful for you all. I'm going to shift from the topic and then guide you on something now. We have a brain. Yeah? We have brain. This brain is not one brain. We have 3 brains. We have what is called as higher brain, middle brain, lower brain. The higher brain is in the front of your forehead. This is where you do a lot of your thinking, analytical thinking, reasoning, they are all here. The middle brain is where your memory is. How many of you remember all that you ate in the last 5 days? But do you remember the first trip you went? When you were 4-year-old, 5-year-old, your first birthday party, your first friend, name, address. Now, yesterday maths class, gone, finished, gone. Whereas you remember something that happened 20 years back, 15 years back, 10 years back. So you start remembering some of them which are there, whereas you are not remembering what is happening in the present. Yeah? What happens is this lower brain is called as reptilian brain. Reptilian brain. This reptilian brain has a small problem. It has what is called as F3 mode. Fight, flight, or freeze. That is what happened in your exam. When there is tension. When there is tension, how much? You don't have to say it outside. Small tension. Maths, already tension. Chemistry, you are not even touched the book. You just thought chemistry, tension. Physics, like that, no? Before you even touch the subject, there is a small amount of tension. The moment tension happens, doesn't matter small or big, reptilian brain is active. Reptilian brain becomes active. When this reptilian brain becomes active, you can do only three things. You can fight, or you can fight, run away, or you will freeze. So if you have small amount of stress and you sit in front of the book for 2 hours, you don't have access to higher brain functions. Memory not possible, thinking not possible. Why? Your brain has been hijacked. It's not working. So you go. You do 3 times. Breathe in deeply through your nose. Breathe out slowly. Again, breathe in. And now start breathing normally. Start breathing normally. So what we are going to do is, when you keep your palms like this, exam results are out. You are taking your progress being okay. How will you feel? How will you feel when you see, wow, you scored the highest in that particular paper? What will your mother say? What will your father say? What will your friend tell you? Just imagine this. We took the brain, told the brain, imagine the future as if it has already happened. And then we got the good marks. Now, right, you are relaxed. With this frame of mind, you now go and study. In half an hour, you will finish one hour question. Really? 3 times Gayatri Mantra or Sai Gayatri Mantra or any shloka of your choice. And then close your eyes, see the results, feel the on a daily basis. It's not like one time I sat in my study session, did this, I will remember. You have to revise 3 times. Now you how much time there? Why can you see this in Olympic race? plays talat, he plays harmonium, he plays violin, tabla, mridanga, saxophone, keyboard. They both 200 meters, 500 meters, 1000. I asked the people, and when I'm studying, what I do is I teach swimming. What a brilliant idea! So every step, what will you teach? God. God will write the exam. And this has worked. I have tried it. I have tried it. That is the reason I was able to qualify some of these exams and all at a later point of time. So it really works. When you do this, your work rate is guaranteed. You just touch upon that quickly now. So look at this.